right, we are live on the Doug Serravo Show. Tomorrow night is a National Football League draft. Alongside me, we have Kyle Esposito. Kyle, how are you today?
I'm doing okay, Douglas. How are you doing today?
You know, we're supposed to be professional. What's with the hat?
Well, you see, I was kind of in a rush this morning because I had to go to work, and I didn't have time to do my hair, so here I am.
What am I going to do?
What am I going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Fire me?
I ain't going to fire
You can't fire me.
Yeah, I can't fire you. I already fired Brandon. All right, so let's get to serious business. We have people watching us. This is our first ever live show in front of fans. So, Kyle, let's start with your mock draft. You know, a lot of people say, what's that look for?
I'm just really excited, Doug. I'm just really excited. This NFL draft is going to be an interesting one. And the first 5 picks, those are going to be big ones.
So we got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones.
Trey Lance.
Is that who you're going with? Because a lot of guys are going with that in their mock draft.
I mean, as they should. You know, some ranked lower than others, some ranked higher than others. But it seems to me that it seems to us that the first 2 picks seem to be solidified. First being Trevor Lawrence, the second being Zach Wilson going to the Jets. Anything after number 2, up in the air as bugs try to peck at your face right there. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence going to the Jaguars, that's a no-brainer, right? We both know that.
Yeah,
Zach Wilson going to the Jets. We all know that as well.
I wouldn't go there just yet.
Really? What do you have to say about that? Because in my opinion, me being a Jets fan and all, I think Zach Wilson's a lock.
I'm thinking Mac Jones would be the New York Jets quarterback
That's
in
interesting.
2021.
You're the only person I've heard say that. Now, I'm very interested in
I really believe that they're going to go with the Alabama guy.
Well, if you looked at how Alabama guy played, he played very well. Enough to where the San Francisco 49ers traded up with Miami, who they already have kind of an established quarterback, a Super Bowl quarterback, in Jimmy Garoppolo. And that trade kind of confused me, because why would they do that? Can you explain to me why San Francisco... Is it because that there's no trust in that organization when it comes to Jimmy G?
A little bit. If you look at Jimmy G's career. You know, sure, he won a Super Bowl as a backup to Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. There's no question about that.
Right.
But he's been very inconsistent. You look at his past with his injuries. How many times is this guy going to get hurt? Because when he's healthy, the Niners are one of those teams where they'll win 10 to 12 games. And then when he's hurt, this is a team that wins 3, 4, 5 games. So you got to be thinking to yourself, is this guy going to stay healthy that we could always rely on him year in and year out? Because we want to build towards a Super Bowl. You know, we don't want to get smacked like that bug in the Super Bowl where we had a 20-10 lead and then we lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, a well-earned Super Bowl for the Chiefs for sure. So I believe that John Lynch is the guy, right, in charge, is sitting there and be like, you know, we have to get someone younger. We have to basically start fresh, because if Jimmy G constantly gets hurt, where are we going to go?
I agree with you, and you know, the injuries never really crossed my mind, but then I go back to week 2. I believe either week 2 or week 3, Jets played the 49ers. Frickin' Jimmy G goes down, Nick Bosa goes down, Solomon Thomas goes down, all in that one game, and Nick Mullins had to go in to cover for Jimmy G. He did a good job. They beat the Jets. I mean, your freaking a group of grandmothers can beat the Jets last season. But
so do you think maybe they're going into this saying, we'll keep Jimmy G, but let's have insurance. You know, you don't want a guy like Nick Mullins as your backup. Sure, he's a great football player, but when you're in that NFC, you're in that NFC West with these top teams, and now the Rams going out and getting Matthew Stafford, who I think would be an upgrade over Jared Goff.
I agree.
I think the Rams are going to run away with that division for sure. So I think they're sitting here thinking, okay, if Jimmy G does get hurt, we're going to go to a guy like Justin Fields, Zach Wilson,
Mac Jones.
Well, Mac Jones.
Whoever they end up with, it's going to be an insurance policy.
Yeah, that's where I think they are going with this.
And hey, if whoever they draft turns out to be freaking the next big thing for them, like they can see a lot of potential, Jimmy G's going to be out of there. They're already talking about bringing Jimmy G back to the Patriots. That rumor swirled a couple months ago. So, I don't know. Jimmy G's career with the 49ers, it does seem like it's virtually over if they do draft the quarterback of the future.
So, your mock draft right now is Trevor Lawrence. Then you have Zach Wilson. Who's going in at 3?
You know, it's kind of weird how I formulated the third pick, just because I originally had Mac Jones like 90% of the people that, put out mock drafts to the world. But I had an interesting conversation with Fireman Mike the other day. And
I like that guy.
Yeah, great guy. Has a lot of football knowledge. His favorite player is Dan Marino, but I'll let him slide on that one. But he says Trey Lance is the best thing going out of that draft. And I looked at him like he had 7 heads. Like, why do you think Trey Lance? He's like, well, if you look at what he did, he said something like 46 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The dude is being glorified by the Falcons, who went to his pro day. The 49ers are goo-goo gagaing over him. A lot of people are treating Trey Lance like Josh Allen. Because, in the beginning, when Josh Allen got drafted, the 2 biggest quarterbacks coming out of that draft was Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield.
Josh Rosen.
And Josh Rosen with his big-ass mouth. And Josh Allen overcame all of that. He figured out how to properly throw.
And he was 1 game away from playing in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So if Fireman Mike, who talks to me like his football knowledge is that of a scholar, I believe that Trey Lance and Mac Jones can either go number 3. I couldn't decide on a solid pick. It has to be either of those 2.
So we saw a trade today. The Denver Broncos acquired Teddy Bridgewater. It looks like he's going to back up Drew Lock.
Right.
Do they trade their pick? Or do you think they maybe go defensively or offensive lineman?
Well, the Broncos are, in my opinion, are up there with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're a team that needs all the help that they can get. And I don't think they should waste a trading that pick when they can get somebody good. There's a lot of great defensive minds. There's a lot of great offensive minds coming out of this draft. I wouldn't waste a single pick. So I think if you want me to give you a solid answer, I think defensively, just because Von Miller, he's a little injury prone. He got injured last year in preseason, I believe, or before preseason. So if they want to get a guy like, what pick do they have in the draft? Remind me.
I think they have 9.
I wouldn't mind a guy like Penny Sewell. Hold on, my mommy's calling me. Excuse me, Mommy. I'm in the middle of a podcast episode. How are you, though?
How are you, Lisa?
Hi.
Do you have any thoughts on the NFL?
Hello. Do you have any thoughts coming into this NFL draft? You're live on the Doug Saravo show with my good friend Douglas Saravo.
Hey, Lisa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're happy to have our first ever caller.
No, you're not really on, are you?
We were recording.
Yeah,
we can
recording.
edit it out.
Okay, good.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break.
I'm going to work with Stratford Rec to see what can we do about it, because I can pitch in money to start with, because we need that. Look at that. It's like, sad. The pup is crying. We need to do something.
And when she gets elected, she will do a lot of great work for this town. Things that haven't been done before. She's highly respected, highly intelligent, and I'm looking forward to hearing on election day that she is your newest representative, but most importantly, your voice.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, we are back on the Doug Saravo show. We went to a quick commercial break. We thought someone was calling in to discuss the National Football League, but
It turns out to be my mother who wanted to input her opinion that the Jets are probably going to mess things up in this NFL draft, and within the last couple years, I don't blame her for thinking that. So
you think we look at these mock drafts, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for months now, it's been Zach Wilson to the New York Jets.
Right.
What if they don't take a quarterback and they shock, not just myself, but they shock you, they shock all these Jet fans, mockers, analysts, and they go after someone like a Penei Sewell?
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame them if they do, but I feel like it'd
They
be
did
stupid
trade
if they
Sam
don't.
Darnold.
They did. They did trade Sam Darnold with the full intention of drafting a quarterback. But Joe Douglas, who's under a tremendous amount of pressure just because, he really hit a home run with that Adam Gase hire. Whoa, let me tell you. Right out the park. So if he wasn't stupid, he would draft Zach Wilson, and he wouldn't have pitchforks and torches waiting for him outside of MetLife Stadium. So
Adam Gase, he had to go.
Oh God, you're giving me a headache just thinking about him.
He had to go.
Let me tell you, when Rex, there hasn't been a better. I mean, there's only been 2 coaches since Rex Ryan left. There was Todd Bowles, who I like,
He was good.
who I never thought should have left, because in his first season, with Sam Darnold, they went what? They went what record?
I think they went 7-9.
Yes.
They weren't bad.
Which was decent. Now, if you look at Mr. Gase, his first season,
See, Adam Gase was basically saying, "Yeah, fire me."
he was basically running that team with, like Stevie Wonder. Like, he couldn't see what was in front of him. He was getting players upset, made Jamal Adams leave. He's freaking in Seattle, living his best life. He really messed us up. But luckily that this draft,
I think this is the best draft in quarterbacks.
This is the best draft for high quality quarterbacks, and it's the best draft for the New York Jets. Because free agency, I'd give the Jets a solid A-, because they got Corey Davis. They've been missing that weapon when Robbie Anderson went to Carolina. They needed a quarterback to match with with different skill sets that are already on that team that I know Zach Wilson will be able to adjust to. It's just a matter of executing your picks right, which the Jets are known to not do all that well.
All right, let's stay local. Let's go to the New York Giants. Where do they go from here? I believe they're sitting at the 11th spot. And the keys for this Giants team moving forward. If they want to be a Super Bowl contender, we need a consistent Daniel Jones. We need him to play at that elite level.
Right.
Not just elite, but even if he was average or above average, 30 touchdowns. Kind of like his rookie year, 24 to 12 touchdown interception ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're going to need Saquon Barkley to stay healthy. That's the main key.
Yes. 100%.
And then you're going to need a nice O-line. Our defense is already set. I love the defense we have.
Right.
That's no problem for us. You have a great defense. You have a great O-line. You have a healthy Saquon Barkley and a consistent Daniel Jones. The New York Giants are going places.
Yes, they're back in the playoffs.
So where will they go in this draft?
Well, as soon as you brought up the New York Giants, I immediately thought O-line help. Because Daniel Jones, the kid can do it. The kid can run. The kid can throw. You just need to protect the guy. Now, whoever the top O-lineman is, he's probably going to be picked. He's probably going to already get, because he's at, you said, the 11th pick.
I believe so.
Yes. So if the Giants have the 11th pick, they will probably get whoever the next man up on that O-line list. I don't have the list in front of me right now, but I do believe that they will go O-lineman just because Danny didn't have a lot of help last year. And Or they can go wide receiver. They can go wide receiver as well. So, we'll see about the Giants.
Let's go to the New England Patriots. This was a team that, they had a lot of guys opt out. They had COVID outbreaks.
Right.
They were 7-9 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Are they thinking to themselves, you know what, let's give Cam Newton another year? Cam Newton, he likes working with Bill Belichick. He came out and said that he's one of the best coaches he worked with. He understands his players. He understands the game. So do they maybe trade down and find a young quarterback just in case Cam doesn't work out?
Well, I think opposite. I think because Stephon Gilmore, this is his last year. So they can trust Cam Newton for another year. Or they can go find your defensive replacement. Because all the guys are basically coming back now. They're coming back and they're playing. So you don't really have to worry about a replacement until the end of next year. So if I were them, Justin Fields, trade up for Justin Fields. The man, I will say, I thought he was very inconsistent in college. But with the right coaching, and especially Bill Belichick, and learning from Cam Newton, I feel like Cam Newton and Justin Fields can get along.
Well, there
great.
was a video on I saw on Instagram Reels. Cam Newton, I think, was working out with Justin Fields, and he said something about him. They were in high school or something. He's like, "Oh, you guys believe in Justin Fields, best high school quarterback in the game."
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the path the New England Patriots go, because I do believe Justin Fields won't be in that top 4 of quarterbacks. I do believe he's going to fall off, and I think that the Patriots will have an opportunity to get him. I don't know if he'll fall like Lamar Jackson did with the 32nd pick to the Baltimore Ravens, but I could see him going to the New England Patriots.
I do too. There's been a lot of rumors speculating that the Patriots are trading up. There was also a thing I saw maybe a week ago that it was like a paper. It was a picture of a paper, and on that paper, it's in small print, but it said Patriots trade for Jordan Love with the Packers. So we don't know what that is either. So it could be BS. It could have been fake.
Yeah,
but
it could have been.
I saw that picture, and it clearly stated Jordan Love to Patriots.
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible that it could be in play for when draft day comes. So the Patriots draft is very much up in the air. I have no idea what they're going to do, but it certainly seems like they need a quarterback. They have to get a quarterback. Is Kyle Trask in this draft?
Yes, he is.
Well, there you go. That could also be an option. Because Kyle Trask, I don't think he's projected to go in the first round, really, or
No.
not. Well,
I
not
think
in
it's Lawrence, it's Wilson, it's Jones, and it's Lance as the top guys that are going to go. And a lot of mock drafts have them being that top 4 straight quarterbacks, and that would be a first time that I ever seen that happen.
Right. First for me too. It just shows you how good this quarterback draft is, and it's kind of fascinating. I don't think we'll ever see this again, but when it comes to the Patriots, definitely see Justin Fields. But if not, I think defensively, if they don't go with Justin.
There's a team I'm thinking about,
Mm-hmm.
and it has me wondering,
Right.
where do they go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Tough Super Bowl loss.
I know exactly who you're gonna bring up.
Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback, but that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense went after him.
Mm-hmm.
So where do the Kansas City Chiefs go? Are they going to get an offensive lineman or an offensive tackle?
Oof. I mean, number one part of Patrick Mahomes' game, you gotta protect him.
Yeah, he's a running quarterback.
That's
He's
no fucking question. Pardon my language.
Hey.
Hey, but
What, am I going to fire you?
yeah, for real. I know the Kansas City Chiefs just traded with the Ravens for Orlando Brown. I believe he's O-line, so that's already boosted. But there's nothing wrong with getting another one for the other side. So, I think O-line, definitely, but I don't really see any. I don't see them going anywhere other than that, other than O-line. Because Patrick Mahomes, that's all you really got to worry about. The weapons are there. I mean, you can always improve defense. O-line and defense. That's all Chiefs need to freaking worry about.
I want to bring up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
They brought everyone back. They have the pieces in place.
True. Yes.
Do they do anything really this draft? Do they maybe find a backup for Tom Brady? Or do you think he's going to be there for another 2 to 3 years?
That's a really good question, Doug. I think, I don't think they draft a quarterback. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they saw what Tom did. Tom at his age doing what he freaking did, going to the Super Bowl with Gronk, who came back just for Tom Brady.
Do we see Julian Edelman making a comeback from his retirement?
Oh, man. I don't know. If Tom Brady, who many people don't know this, when Rob Gronkowski retired, he became an analyst for Fox, right?
Yeah.
But he also originally signed with World Wrestling Entertainment to be a WrestleMania host and a performer. But Tom goes to Florida. Gronk, is a party guy. Tampa, I don't know if Tampa's a party place, but Florida is a great place to be when you're not living in New Jersey like us. Or while you're living in Jersey like us. And fucking Antonio Brown, who his problems outside of the field, let alone, he went to Tampa Bay.
And he got himself a ring.
He got himself, finally, a ring. Another ring. Did he win a ring with Pittsburgh? He finally got himself a ring.
You know what this reminds me of, this sit-down?
What?
I don't know if it was a commercial or it's like a video. Tom Brady and Gronkowski sitting here. They have their rings on. They were like laughing.
Look at our rings. Look at how cool we are. I mean, there will Rob Gronkowski, top 5 tight end of all time. Do you agree?
I would say so.
I still believe number 1 tight end is Tony Gonzalez, but I like Rob. He's very great player. Tom Brady, obviously, very great player. Who doesn't want to play with the best of all time? Tom Brady. And as long as, Tom Brady has that pull to where, like, hey, Ndamukong Kong Su, come resign with us. Antonio, come on back. Let's go win another one. Oh, Rob was already going to come back. We all knew that was going to happen. He wasn't going to go anywhere else. People were saying, oh, it's the first time in Rob Gronkowski's career as a free agent. No, Rob is practically in love with Tom. He ain't never going to leave his side. So, that Tampa Bay team, drafting-wise, I don't know what the hell they're going to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
I think they might trade their first round pick, to be honest with you.
Maybe they'll get a kicker or a punter.
I mean, Ryan Suckup, he was all right. It's a kicker. There's nothing else to it.
Because this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, they are in a win now mode. So it doesn't really. It's not like they're building towards a future.
No, they're really not. They're tough.
They have the pieces in place, and then I think what they have to worry about is when Tom Brady retires, They're going to need a quarterback. So maybe they go out and they get Kyle Trask.
That makes a lot of sense. Since Kyle Trask isn't rated all that high, he can be like a Josh Allen, probably be a dark horse in this draft. We don't know, but I can definitely agree with you and see that. I just see them trading away their picks and worrying about it for next year, not all their picks. Maybe the first round pick, maybe for something decent. But I don't know. Tampa Bay is a very confusing one.
Can you grab my phone?
Yes.
Because I want to look at this top 10 and see if you agree with it.
Okay. And we didn't even mention the Atlanta Falcons, who they have an interesting, decision to make. Do they go with a quarterback or do they go with the best?
Would Trey Lance be the guy?
Will Trey Lance be that guy? Will Mac Jones be that guy? Or do they not even go with the quarterback and go with freaking Kyle Pitts. What it,
Well, I think that's who they are saying for a tight end. So let's go to NFL. Here we go, mock draft.
I think they should go quarterback. I don't know. Matt Ryan can't play for that long. Can't play for much longer.
All right, so Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence.
Obvious.
New York Jets, Zach Wilson.
Obvious.
San Fran, Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts, tight end from Florida. Jamar Chase to Cincinnati.
Makes sense. They need weapons over there.
Devonta Smith to Miami.
Makes sense. They also need weapons.
Penny Sewell to Detroit.
Yeah.
Caleb Farley to Carolina.
What position's Caleb Farley?
He's a cornerback.
Yeah, I can see that.
Trey Lance to Denver.
Oh, now that's up in the air now.
Yeah,
that is very much up in the air. I
disagree with that after getting Teddy Bridgewater.
They're trading that pick then.
Dallas Cowboys to J.C. Horn. Jalen Waddle to the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Surtain II to Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Now I wonder what our boy Mike thinks of this.
Oh, God.
A shout out to Michael Lepore.
Yes, the resident Chargers fan.
Only one.
The only Chargers fan in New Jersey.
Rashawn Slater.
What position's that?
Offensive tackle, which he did say on the phone earlier. He wants an offensive tackle.
I agree with Mike.
Now I wonder what our boy Matt Hunt has to say about the Minnesota Vikings. He did say at work last Friday that he wants an offensive tackle or lineman,
right,
and nothing else. They do have them going. They do have Christian Darrisaw going to them. He's from Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And this has New England Patriots getting Justin Fields.
What pick does the Patriots have?
15.
Yeah, I agree with all that. You know, obviously we don't agree with that Broncos pick just because Teddy Bridgewater just got acquired by them today. So they will either most likely trade that pick or they will either draft defensive or wide receiver wise. Just because the only wide receiver I know on that team currently right now is the rookie wide receiver they got last year, Jerry Jeudy. But
and Kyle Trask isn't in the first round.
I heard that as well.
But you could see Washington getting him at 51 maybe.
See here, okay.
Maybe the Saints.
I have an interesting question for you. Mitchell Trubisky. Remind me where he signed. Where did Mitchell Trubisky go?
He's the backup to Josh Allen.
Okay. Would it have made more sense and more money for Mitchell Trubisky's pocket if he would have signed with Washington?
Yeah.
Because Alex Smith retired. Washington needs a quarterback.
They do, but I don't see them going after one this time around.
If it's not Washington's got to be the one to take Trask, right?
They could, but I think Washington likes that guy Heinen.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Here, let's look at their roster. Washington football team quarterbacks: Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke. Oh, they did sign Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah, that is right. They signed the best Harvard quarterback ever.
They did sign Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, I guess that's better than Alex Smith because at least you have a quarterback out there that's not playing with basically one leg. That freaking surgery, man, that Alex Smith had was brutal to look at.
Yeah, they thought he was gonna die.
They took pieces of I don't know where and put it in his leg, and that's just wow. If I was Alex Smith, I would retire too, just because if I take one more hit by, let's say, an Adama suit, my leg would be coming off like a Lego brick. So, I think Mitchell Trubisky, if he wanted to, he could have went to Washington, and for whatever reason, he went to the Bills. But if you look at Mitchell Trubisky and Josh Allen,
they're both similar.
They're practically the same player. Now, the Bills helped Josh Allen become Josh Allen. A coach told Josh Allen he wasn't using his hips enough, and when he started using his hips, the ball went like 50% farther than what he was already throwing it. So if the Buffalo Bills can turn Josh Allen from a not so talked about quarterback coming out of his draft to being one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I think they can also turn Mitchell Trubisky, who did show great signs with the Bears in his first season.
He did.
I
And
think
they fell off the face of the earth.
Until he fell off the face of the earth, that's right. And then Nick Foles had to come in, and then that didn't really turn out very well. And now the Bears, oh my God, the Bears. They have Andy Dalton now, who's their starting quarterback apparently, who we saw back up Dak Prescott when his little ankle injury happened. Well, I mean, not little. That his foot literally said. So. No, man, I feel so bad for the Bears fans because Bear fans, they are one of the most dedicated and die-hard fans in all of football, right next to Philadelphia. And they see Mitchell Trubisky his first year, like, wow, we're coming back after so many years of looking at Jay Cutler and telling him you suck. They finally have a quarterback, and then the following year, it's like Mitchell Trubisky took a big-ass dump on the logo in the middle of the field. So, I don't know what Bears fans feel right now. I think most of them passed away because of heart attacks, saying what the hell happened. Well, let's see. I'm definitely interested in what the Bears do because not only did they sign Dalton, what other quarterback did they sign? They signed another quarterback. I can't think of his name right now.
Chicago Bears quarterback.
They signed someone else that used to be the starting quarterback.
No, they just have Nick Foles and Andy Dalton.
Okay, they just have Nick Foles? Okay. I feel bad for Nick Foles, too. Oh, man. Poor guy.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
You win a Super Bowl. Well, you're on the Eagles.
They're a mess now.
Oh, God. Don't even mention the Eagles. I'm very interested to see what this Eagles team can freaking do with this draft.
I am.
You know who they should draft if he was available? God, because that's who they need. They need God to fix that team because no general manager can.
Remember when we were at the Phillies game?
We were at the Phillies game, and we were sitting on the top bleachers. And the farther bleachers, there was a whole bunch of apparent Eagles fans. They were saying, "Fire Howie," who is Howie Roseman, who is the general manager of the Eagles.
Cowboys suck.
And Cowboys suck, and a whole bunch of crap. So. I don't know, man. That team's burdened down from the ground up.
Yeah, imagine going. We should have Alicia on one day talking about the Eagles.
For real. Yeah, that'd be
make us a nice drink.
Yeah.
Have some fun drinking.
Exactly.
Talking sports on a nice sunny day.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting tomorrow night.
It'll probably be the most interesting
NFL
draft.
Let's talk about Stutz.
Stutz.
Tomorrow he's betting. He told me. How much money do you think he loses?
Oh.
How much money does
that
Stutz
is a
lose?
wonderful question, Doug. Just because our buddy, here's his track record. It's a very interesting track record. I think he loses some money. I just because it's Mike. Come on, he hasn't had the best string of luck as of late.
We love you, Mike.
We love you, Mike. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. But I don't know, man. This draft is very interesting.
His car.
Oh.
We'll have Mike on to talk about that.
Yeah. Please do. Oh, man.
But yeah, tomorrow should be interesting.
Very much so.
Very interesting.
Now, is there anything else related to this draft that we need to focus on? Before we forget or go off track on some other topics.
I think we covered it all.
Think we covered it?
We talked about all the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about what the Giants have to do, what the Patriots have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we could finish off talking about the Saints.
Mm.
Who's their quarterback moving forward?
As much as people might laugh, I think Jameis Winston might be it. I can't see it going any other way, to be honest with you.
I don't think so.
I don't think they draft the quarterback. I don't even know what they probably have. One of the last picks. Probably won't. They can always get a wide receiver. I don't know. Devontae Smith is going early, but the next man up is Najee Harris, or you can get a guy like Travis Etienne and have him be more of a slot receiver than a running back, which is always a good option to have because you can always use some slot receivers.
Yeah,
So-
it'll be interesting.
Very interesting.
And we'll conclude with this: over, under.
Mm-hmm.
Stutz loses $50.
Over.
Honestly, I'm gonna go with the under on that.
Really?
I don't see him losing that much.
I don't know. I think you're giving Mike too much credit. Just because of how many times you've told me he's lost.
Well, yes, but what can we say?
Ugh.
All right, thank you for joining me on the Doug Saravo Show. Thank you for Kyle Esposito. Big shout out for Lisa McGee for calling in today, giving her thoughts on the NFL. We'll see you guys next time, Monday night, 9 p.m. with Mark Merrill. Growing up, I wanted to be in the NHL. I wanted to be just like my idol, Martin Brodeur. In life, sometimes you win some, but sometimes you will lose some. Being successful isn't about chasing a paycheck. Being successful is about chasing your passion and building a foundation to where you want to be. You only live once, so you might as well do what you love. Think big. Don't just settle. People are going to hate, doubt, and tell you that you can't. But if you put your mind to something, nothing is impossible. Think big.